Hello everyone, and today I'll be reading a shoto listener by me. So let's get into it. Todoroki had no idea that someday he would have a relationship like this, where he would love someone so sincerely, where he would feel love in this way, the way that all the people talked about, and the way that he feared. He never knew much about romance. He didn't know about love, being raised in a household like that. He didn't know much about it, and he was scared of it until you came along and changed his mind and made his heart burn so brightly with love in a way that he never thought it would. You made him feel things in different ways, different degrees that he never thought that he would quite reach. There you were, doing all of that with ease. And he knew at one point or another some things would have to get a little bit more complicated. Not due to you, maybe more because of him, really. He did not plan on his father figuring it out so early. But it seems that he's done such a terrible job of hiding it, and he had no idea what to do when Endeavor asked him to bring you so that he could meet you. If anything, he wanted to yell at the man, tell him that it's none of his business, and that he should get out of his life forever. He wants nothing to do with him. Really. But for some reason, he felt as though he could not do that yet. And for some other foolish reason, he had hope in his heart that there would be no problems with you coming home with him. You were beautiful. You were smart. You were strong. You were everything that anyone would ever want in a hero. And in a partner, in anyone. You had all the qualities that Todoroki thought were perfect, and you wanted nothing more than to be able to be by your side, to love and admire you in such a way. He had no idea what else to do. At this point, he felt as though he had no choice but to embrace the inevitable and bring you home and introduce you to. Is that okay with you, Ayan? He asked you, and you mulled it over for a little bit, but seeing the hopeful yet very nervous expression on his face, told you that he needed this, even in a way that he did not understand yet. So you nodded, getting up from where you were seated and wrapping your arms around him. Of course, Shell, I can't promise I'll be nice to him, but I'll do my best. Is that fine? You ask, and he laughed softly. He didn't laugh a lot back before he had you, but it seems you were able to change that as well. His chuckles and his laughter are very quiet, very soft, and they had the ability to melt any frozen heart. But right now, what you needed was to go shopping with him. You needed something rather formal if you were going to meet Endeavor. You hated the man, but for Todoroki's sake, you were going to do your best to give a good impression. You did not want to make him sad. In fact, it was the furthest thing from what you wanted. And right now, if it meant that Todoroki would be happy, you were going to do just about anything, just to put a smile on his face. And you did get the dress. Todoroki, of course, being the one to buy it for you, as he loved to do so with many things. But it was kind of difficult, considering that all you needed was not just a dress. You needed a lot of time, and a lot of preparing mentally, just to be able to see that man. And that's why, with your thoughts making you anxious, and Shoto being anxious as well. The day had went over quickly, and suddenly, the next day came along, and most importantly, you had to see him now. You and Todoroki went there. It was a silent drive, really. The two of you quiet, too anxious. But before you got out of the car, Todoroki held your hand in his own and squeezed it gently. "It'll be okay, Wayan. I promise," he said. And for some reason you couldn't help but trust him. Todoroki would never lie to you. He never would. And amongst all things, he had done a great job of reassuring you and keeping you safe so far. You weren't really worried about your own safety as you were worried about his own emotional one. You didn't want Angie to hurt him, but you hoped that it would not come to that. And surprisingly, when the two of you met, Endeavor was rather tolerant of you. He asked about your family, asked about who you interned with, asked you about many things, and you listened, frowning as the questions just kept on going. I was told it would be a meeting, an introduction, but it almost seemed as if you're interrogating me. Oh, well, I apologize. Endeavor said. Wait, Endeavor apologized? Was he really doing that? You and Todoroki stared back at one another, your eyes wide in pure shock. And surprisingly, the rest of the meeting between you went this way. Endeavor asking questions, or trying to chip in with something nice, telling you that you're doing a great job, and that you will be a good hero, or some suggestions that were rather unwelcome, but he's trying his best. However, he did not expect, by the time that you and Todoroki were leaving, for him to hold your hand and squeeze it gently. "Thank you for being a good partner to my son. He needs this, and I'm glad that he has you around." And it's safe to say that your heart had melted. And although you despised the guy for what he did to Shoto, maybe there was hope for better things to come around.